Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Patch. This week, brought to you by Crunchyroll and lynda.com. Somewhere. Yay.
There they are.
Crunchyroll, lynda.com.
Lights.
Flip that hourglass.
Flip. Action.
You got a lot to do now.
Flip.
We're gonna
Good.
put Ashley on lights duty.
There we go.
Lights
good.
duty. I get light. Oh,
You gotta toggle.
hold on. I can raise it.
No, it's
It's a
already on.
little
It's
bit of
already
a
on.
stretch. Yeah,
It's
we're good
already all right, The Patch. We're here to talk about video games, video game news, and to continue our journey in the video game book club. What are we calling it?
Yeah, sure. It's not a book club.
doesn't
Game
make any
club.
sense. Game club makes
Yeah.
sense.
The video game book club. I like
No.
that doesn't make sense.
No. Oh, you like
No.
it? Okay.
Nope.
Anarchy.
I hated the movie book club.
There was a movie called
right.
Book Club?
No, that's what.
And it's
what
better
they
off
call
of
it
all
for
book
It's
clubs
not.
for
It's
all
just, It's just a
time.
movie club. This is just a game club.
Welcome to The Patch Game Club. Game Book Club.
Which this
God
this
damn
week
it.
is Valiant Hearts.
We're going to
Yeah.
talk
We'll do
about
that
it
after the stream.
Yeah, so
Or
if you're
after
watching
this stream, there'll be the.
if you're watching live, just keep watching after the credits. We'll film it immediately afterwards. If you're watching on YouTube or another avenue, just it should be the next video anyway. Just look for it.
Well, we can annotate it anyway.
Yeah, we'll annotate it. All right.
Now that you're confused, let's talk about video games.
Let's talk about video games. You know, last week I'm going to go back. I'm going to keep talking
All
about
right.
it. Last week,
Let's live in the past some more.
I mentioned a couple of times throughout the episode that we were going to, for people watching the live stream, that we're going to keep streaming. We're going to immediately record the book club afterwards. And people kept tweeting anyway. They were like, "Is this a mistake?
Why is the
Why are they
stream
still
still on?"
streaming?" Like,
I remember that. Yeah, literally five. I mean, right as we're closing the patch, you say, "Stay on. We're gonna do the game club." The tweet comes in 3 seconds after the end of the credits on the patch. Like, what? Do they know they're still going? Why are they still there? Like, did you literally join in the small, tiny gap between us closing the patch and starting the game club?
Potentially.
It could have happened.
know.
But why would you show up at 5 o'clock? Like, hey, I see if they're still streaming the patch. Well, nothing's happening.
Maybe they practice a very unique form of daylight savings time.
Maybe so.
Maybe
they thought they just developed witchcraft. They're like, I can see into their office.
Time travel.
Another bit of patch news is my vase got discovered, and it's up on top of the fridge with the other vases now.
What
It got.
did you say
Could you not reach it?
something somewhere publicly? Maybe?
I think we talked about it on the last patch.
We did.
How it was a vase, and someone must have realized it, and now it's up on top of the fridge with other vases. It's not being.
So why don't you reclaim it?
Just
Because then I would have to clean it.
It's your vase.
Yeah.
It's your vase. You take
I mean,
it back.
I assume no one used it since you did last time.
Yeah, but it's been up there collecting dust.
for
Or
what,
as
a
long
week?
as it collects the dust
Yeah.
normally.
They got to clean it. Nah, I don't want to do
Well, you
that.
mean like
All
rinse, like you mean like rinse it out?
Right. I don't want to do that.
It's too much effort.
I don't
Yeah,
have
no,
time
it's
for
fine.
that.
I get it.
Okay.
All right. We wasted enough time.
It's not a waste. It was a pleasant conversation
No,
about vases and
Valses.
vase. Isn't that how you say it? In polite company.
Well, that assumes you're in polite company, right?
All right. Now I swear we're going to talk about video games.
I gotta put my pinky up as I drink.
As you drink your Diet Coke out of a can.
It's polite company, Gus.
So first thing I want to lead off with, it's a game that's very dear to a lot of us here at the studio. Smite is celebrating its 1-year anniversary
Hey,
of
congratulations!
officially
to them.
being launched.
That just means like out of beta, right?
Right, they were in beta for a long time, but
Ages.
they March 25th, exactly to the day 1 year ago, they emerged from beta and are out to the wild now.
Yeah, congratulations to those guys.
Wasn't there a live stream of that yesterday?
We did, yeah. I think it was John and Blaine and Blaine was hosting and Barbara and Chris and Brandon. Yeah, if you saw it or you
I
didn't,
think Jordan-
Do you have any idea
got
it was a
Jordan
1 year
face.
anniversary, or was it just like a weird coincidence?
I don't know.
I think they just wanted to stream.
Yeah,
Coincidence.
Blaine's saying coincidence. He's
I
right.
think they just wanted to stream Smite.
Any excuse, really, we'll do it.
Did you all have the headphones out here? Because they're missing from the room. I'll talk to you later.
Gus is really mad about the missing
Gus,
headphones.
Gus wants to do. This is the housekeeping episode of the patch.
So we were. I went into. I hadn't finished Valiant Hearts, and I went in to finish it off. Because in the gameplay room we have set up, and I was very disappointed to see that 3 out of the 4 sets of headphones in there were gone.
Am I the only one that did the homework before showing up to work today?
Hey, I'm done now.
Really? Because Michael told us that you were playing it in there today.
No, I finished it last night.
Okay, so he lied to us.
Yeah, I think I didn't even do any collectibles today. I still have a little bit of collectibles to do, but I finished
Actually,
the story last night.
I was actually playing it on a plane. So
That's
because I
commitment.
was traveling and I took this little laptop, which by the way is not much of a gaming laptop. So I think Valiant Hearts is just a little bit more than it can handle.
Valiant Hearts is a little more than it can
Valiant Hearts is
handle.
like a graphic novel you can move around.
Yeah.
in.
I know.
All right.
Just give you a little.
So
bit
it's
of
more of a
perspective.
comic book speed gaming laptop then.
And this is, I mean, it's like a writing laptop. It's not meant for that, but it did admirably. I actually, I was able to. I love this. I was able to just like flip it, and then like have the screen on the plane, and I plugged in a gamepad so that I could play it that way. It actually worked out really, really great. What didn't work out so great was trying to like get the game, and because it's Ubisoft and I was playing on PC, I had to get Uplay. I've never encountered Uplay before. To be honest, I sort of thought that all the people like bitching and complaining about Uplay were just sort of like exaggerating and being a little bit spoiled and entitled and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they're not. It's really like, oh my god, just trying to download it, and then I had to like make my account, which I could make, but then it wouldn't authenticate my game because it didn't like the Wi-Fi on the plane or whatever. Didn't want me to.
Did you get it off of Steam or how?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it off of Steam. So then you go to play it, and then it'll pop up Steam and say, by the way, you might need to put in a CD key, even if you don't after the first time. It's just.
Steam always assumes that though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the whole process of having to use 2 programs to launch a game and authenticate all this stuff, even though I'd already downloaded the game and redeemed the key. It was a nightmare.
I mean,
I sat there fuming for the first leg of my trip because I had to then go to like other Wi-Fi and authenticate completely differently just to be able to play the game. It was ridiculous.
do you remember the first game that you really had to do that on? What was your first experience where you had to have a login system to play a game? Remember?
Probably an MMO of some kind.
Yeah,
Think so?
for sure.
Half-Life
That's
2.
Really?
Yeah,
Remember,
that
that's
was a
one of the-
big brouhaha when that game came out, was because you had to log in to validate. It was basically a very, very early version of Steam.
It was Steam.
Yeah, essentially. I mean,
No,
it wasn't
it
Steam
was
in its current
Steam.
form, though.
It was
No, but
Steam.
it
Not
was,
really.
it was Steam.
It was
the
Steam,
beginning
but
of
it was
Steam.
like...
Let's all remember that everyone in the world hated Steam
Oh, yeah.
when it launched.
It was just
the
DRM.
devil.
It was the man coming
Right.
for you, trying to take your games and control you.
It's like secure ROM.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, now everyone loves it. But having to authenticate over multiple platforms it's not okay.
No one's happy about that,
wasn't
ever.
Ubisoft phasing Uplay out, please?
Yeah, they said that, didn't they?
I thought they
those
were. I thought they were.
liars.
They
Well,
said they were
Valiant
going to
Hearts-
phase it out after a whole bunch of stuff didn't work in Assassin's Creed. Like a whole bunch of stuff was locked or whatever.
Valiant Hearts is also an older game. It came out
That's
over
true.
the summer, so it probably had that integration before they said they were going to phase
How
it out.
hard is it to turn it off? Like,
Right.
you just, hey,
Just go
do you need to
flip
check?
the switch.
No, we're done.
Yeah, just turn it off.
I played on my PS4. I had no problems.
That said,
I
once
played
I
on
got
Xbox
it,
One, also
once
no
I got it
problem.
authenticated, it was great. Actually, like really, easy to play on a plane. Lots of fun.
Oh, okay, well, we're going to save the specific
Games of the newer
discussion
ilk. What have you guys
for-
been playing this week?
I actually have not played that much this week. I squeezed Valiant Hearts in, but I don't know that I really hit anything else. And it's crazy because there's a lot coming out that I want to play. Life is Strange Episode 2 came out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Game of Thrones
Walking Dead,
Episode 3
Game of Thrones
came out today.
Don't forget Tales from the Borderland 2 is out now, too.
I finished that one already.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. And Bloodborne as well. I haven't played any of
Bloodborne
those
came
games.
out yesterday, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
How did Tales from the Borderland 2 Part 2 hold up to Part 1?
better than the first.
Better?
It was really, 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 really good.
They're just...
Tell us how good it was.
Yeah.
Really good.
Give us the specifics. It was like super really good or just kind of really good?
You
Or
know,
like really, really,
I
really,
think
really,
what I had
really
said
good.
previously was that Episode 1 was my favorite Borderlands game ever, and Episode 2 was even way better than that.
I do really like the lighthearted nature of those games. I mean, or at least I haven't played Episode 2 yet, but 1 felt so much more relaxing than anything else I've ever played from Telltale. Like, it just hurts to play their games usually.
Right, so you maybe do alternate an episode of Game of Thrones, an episode of Tales from the Borderlands,
Mhm.
and then you can sort of like meet in the middle.
Yeah.
As to how depressed you are.
I mean, I think the hierarchy probably goes. It's hard. Walking Dead, I think, is like, man, I'm just going to end myself. And then there's Game of Thrones, and then Wolf Among
Really,
Us.
you think Walking Dead is worse than Game of Thrones in that regard?
I think so. I'd go with that.
Maybe it's just
Plus,
because I
also,
hate people in Game of Thrones.
all
they've done is made me hate everyone in that world.
We
So
also
it's like,
have not-
he's dead. Who gives a
we have
fuck?
not gone
He
through a
was
full
dead
season
anyway.
of Game of Thrones yet.
He was
either.
dead the minute he entered
Sure.
that game, and he knew it.
Yeah, I wonder now that that Game of Thrones the game series is going, if we're gonna see them, if we're gonna actually like see those characters in the season of Game of Thrones TV show that's about to start. Because remember, the first episode picks up at the Red Wedding. It's about that right time right now.
I thought everything in the Game of Thrones Telltale game was supposed to be before. It was like between books 3 and 4, so we would have seen it.
Well, I mean, it started
now.
at the Red Wedding,
Yeah.
right? But that means that it could span further because the Red Wedding, I mean, yes, it was, a few episodes ago, but there's that time. It could.
Probably also depends on how many seasons they end up running. If they only do the one, then yeah. But I doubt we'll ever see integration back into the TV show. I think the TV shows are still a little too hoity-toity to slum with those video games. It only goes the other way.
I see.
And the last thing that really tried was Defiance. Remember the Defiance MMO?
No.
No, you don't?
Vaguely.
Do you remember the show Defiance?
No.
It was a sci-fi show, sci-fi channel show. And that's sci-fi with a Y, not with
Sci-fi.
an I. Yeah.
Siffy.
They had a whole MMO that was released that ran parallel to the show. So at times characters on the show would like leave to go somewhere, and then in the MMO you could escort them on their journey. There was a whole lot of back and forth. I don't think I don't know if the show even exists anymore. The MMO is probably still up, but you could probably not see another human in it for days on end.
I like how you just make blanket statements about it. Yeah.
Just,
see anyway.
things.
I must have totally missed that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was, I
You
think
and
it
many
kind of
people.
flew under the radar. Yeah.
It was it really, I got to applaud them for how ambitious it was. I mean, it was, there were a lot of tie-ins. It was a pretty fun MMO. We did one Let's Play in it, and we played a little bit around that Let's Play, and it was very big, very epic feeling. You had a lot of group events where there was, like a world event that everybody had to get together. It almost very similar to world events in Destiny, only with many more players.
Okay.
Those would just happen throughout the world. Like you would be going about your day, and all of a sudden a giant bug would just show up, and you'd have to all fight it.
I hate when that happens.
Why do you hate when that happens?
Because then it's like, oh, not gonna deal with traffic because of the bug. I'm gonna be late. I got an appointment.
You just go around. Just
Can you
go
imagine
around.
if, like,
it's not Austin.
If that was a thing, it's like, oh shit, giant bug attacking downtown again.
Another goddamn giant bug.
Traffic's gonna be a nightmare today. Make sure you plan your commute around the giant bug downtown. Oh, let me get my gun. I'm gonna go kill a giant bug. It seems ridiculous.
Squash.
Where is
the
a giant
colloquial.
urban bug going to lay all of its eggs?
In your brain. That's where giant bugs lay eggs.
It seems like they have to be bigger than that.
Well, it's got like an injector system.
I'm thinking like buildings.
In the capital.
Well,
Right, okay.
the Capitol
It's
building.
got like the nice dome. that
Yeah,
might
it
keep
looks like
upright.
a big egg. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of an incubator. Okay, yeah.
That's if I was a bug, that's where I put my eggs.
All right.
Just like squat on top of the Capitol building, like,
All in one basket.
there we go.
Despite the old proverb.
We've learned so much about you today. Your future is a giant bug once the mutations come.
I'm ready. It's good to be planning. What about you? What have you been playing besides Valiant Hearts?
So yeah, played Valiant Hearts. Playing still. I started playing Majora's Mask on 3DS. I finally got over being scared of it. And everyone's right, it wasn't that bad. the 3 days isn't as bad as I thought. But I actually have a big problem. So again, was traveling, and coming home yesterday. Got to the airport. I was like, Bernie, you grabbed my 3DS out of the hotel, right? Nope.
Oh.
Nope, he didn't.
So is it still there, or did you get it back?
Okay, so this is a story with a
Is
happy
there a happy ending? Okay.
This story has a happy ending. Normally they don't.
Extra for that.
Normally, yeah, so I got to the airport, realized I didn't have it. And of course, his first remark in the comforting way is, they'll never find it.
Oh, yeah.
Because
well,
we,
he's
like,
setting
It's at the
expectations
bottom of the
appropriately.
ocean.
Yeah,
already,
well, we've
yeah.
had that problem before where like we leave something in a hotel and then call them within an hour of checkout saying, this is what it is. This is exactly what it looks like. It's right here on this desk in this room. It's right there. And they go, yeah, I don't find anything. And so you just, it's like, meanwhile, like someone from housekeeping's kid is like, so I just got super depressed to the point where he was like, here's chocolate, here's potato chips. He's just like throwing food at me.
Here's
Salt
chocolate
and
potato
sweet,
chips.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
there
there
you
you
go.
go.
any attempt to cheer me up. But it turns out security went to the room, they got it, they found it, and they're shipping it back to me. So I'm gonna get
Wow.
it again. But now I'm like this. I've got days. What am I gonna do?
Well,
It's the worst. It's gonna be dead by the time it gets back
Gotta
here.
charge
I'm
it.
gonna have to charge it. I'm
God.
gonna lose part of my save game. And so I went from being like super depressed, like I've lost all my game progress in every game, and I have to call support and get it manually attached to a different system because all the
Yeah,
because Nintendo's user
Nintendo's
system
pretty
is
bad.
pretty crap.
I mean, let's be honest. They're pretty bad.
I'm gonna have
sorry
to
to
deal with all
inconvenience you.
this, and then I was like, this is gonna be a nightmare. Now I'm like, oh, at least I'm saved it. But yeah, it is. Nintendo system is crap. Like if that's the biggest concern that I have is that like I'm not like you can't just log my user onto a new 3DS and automatically have all my licenses and be able to download them. I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Well, hopefully they're taking steps to fix that, though.
Yeah, well, I mean that partnership they announced does sound like they're revamping their whole user system, which
Or making.
making a user system.
Just
Harsh words from
creating-
Ryan.
Yeah,
It's not. I mean, the most your cloud existence is when people walk around with their 3DSs to steal other people's Miis.
We
What do
don't
you call that?
We don't steal
Street
them.
pass.
We trade them.
Abducting?
It's street passing. No, we
Street-
help each other out. We trade puzzle pieces.
Street
we help-
kidnapping?
we
I
help
sent it
each
to you.
other in
15 years in
battles.
prison for street passing.
But yeah, it's the fact that
Let me
I
get this straight.
can't.
You walk up to somebody else who has a 3DS and you take their Mii
So you've never
and you
street
put
passed.
it into your. Why would I? I don't even have a
Okay,
3DS.
so no, I'm just trying to get
All right.
a gauge of
So
how
you make a
clueless you
Mii
are.
and you turn it on
Uh-huh.
and you walk around and then somebody their 3DS takes your Mii and you take their Mii, right?
Okay,
I mean, I know you keep your Mii.
you meet.
Like you clone.
Yeah, you meet, and then their Mii
Yeah.
shows up on your 3DS going, hey, and then they'll have collected like puzzle pieces from other people they've street passed, and then you can collect one from them that you don't have. Or there's also like an RPG.
Or most of the
thing.
time, they don't have a fucking puzzle piece you need.
Right.
Well, that's if you're high level.
I mean,
and
as I
using a street
understand it,
passer.
basically you
Pinkies
abduct
out.
these people and you put them to work doing your bidding.
no,
essentially,
you trade
in
them
certain
cool stuff.
things.
No,
like
and then
need,
you
like,
get them
certain
killed in the RPG.
And
There you
you get
go.
to kill the RPG. But here's the thing: is every time it rewards you for meeting the same people over again, like having like a crew. Because if you
Mm.
meet the same Miis over again, they level up in your RPG, and then they can take on like harder
They get
stuff.
stronger, yeah.
And they can like team up and do like different powers depending on which shirt colors they're wearing. It's amazing.
So what? Basically, they just need to make a big Nintendo server that your Mii can go live in, and that remembers all of your stuff.
Right.
Yes.
And that you can transfer between your own consoles.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Like-
seems like that would be a very short step from what they're already doing with their little Mii
I
abductions.
think so. I mean, the fact that we have two Wii U's in the house, and the idea of like, oh, we've got one upstairs, one downstairs. Which game is or like which console is this specific game installed on? Great, we're gonna have to move the whole console because we can't just log in on the other one and have access to that game.
Oh, what if?
We have different accounts attached to each Wii U, and you can't move the account either. It's tied to the hardware forever.
What if they made an amiibo where you just rub it on a Nintendo device and all your stuff goes into the amiibo?
Oh, that'd be great.
They do.
Yeah.
It'd be like
but,
a memory
you
stick,
know,
but
not like.
And then you go to another device and just like hit it a few times, and then all your stuff goes into that device.
I want to clarify something you said really fast.
Yes.
So you talked about how tying your save data to like a Mii.
You
would
want
be
to
a
clarify
small
something
step.
where I'm just making up stuff to install
Right, yeah,
Nintendo.
I just
All right.
want to make sure we people know that we realize how this works. You said it'd be a small step, but right now think of like the Mii transfer communication as being like client to client communication.
Right.
It's
Peer to
There is no
peer.
server,
think
right?
it as Bluetooth.
So they would need to build that whole server infrastructure. That is what doesn't exist. So it's more
Didn't
than
they have that though?
a
There was
small
a thing
step.
you could go to like GameStop, and then there was you
You-
could link up to Nintendo.
Yeah, you're thinking of the
Spot
fact that
Pass.
there's Spot Pass,
Right,
so
I
that
think.
it like collects like
They're like
10
hubs,
it collects
right?
up to like 10 Miis, and then so you pass one, and then you get
Mm-hmm.
all these other street passes from people who have been there but aren't there at that time necessarily.
Okay.
it's like a bus stop.
It is like
So
it's a
there you
bus
go.
stop.
Yeah,
for
you
Miis.
just wire those into the Nintendo mainframe, and
You
there
create
you go.
the Nintendo
Yeah.
mainframe, and then you wire them in.
Honestly, it should just be one of those things where if you're on Wi-Fi, then it cloud saves your stuff, and that you obviously have to connect to Wi-Fi to re-access it. But guess what? That's fine. I will do that. I just don't want to deal with this again.
I felt like what you were saying, it made me want to say something before I forget. You talked about your 3DS and how you're getting it back,
Yes.
and now magically, Nintendo is shipping more of those Majora Masks 3DS XLs to America.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the port issues got
Right,
cleared
which
up,
definitely
right?
leads me to believe that it was a port issue, and they've all been sitting.
No, they
in a
said it
port.
was a port issue.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they said
Okay.
like there was a whole bunch of stuff. I think Amiibo too were affected by it because they were shipping them over, and they've all been sitting on ships. Like, well, making a lot of people really unhappy right now.
Well, unless you happen to have the keys to those particular shipping containers, in which case you're really happy.
Well, now people will have the
I
opportunity
guess.
to get those 3DSs. I'm trying to load it. Our Wi-Fi is fucked up, so I can't load it. So
Ooh,
I can't.
I got this. You want-
Just tell me
She's
when are they
prepared.
going to be
Oh,
available?
when,
That
oh, they
USB?
today.
Today?
Yeah, I think they said they're making more available today.
How are you connected to the internet on that? That's a USB cable. Oh,
I thought
okay.
that too, but yeah, it's got like a
My-
USB
this-
hub and then an Ethernet.
Yeah, this laptop is thin enough that it actually doesn't have an Ethernet port. So I have to have the USB cable, which also happens to give me a whole bunch more USB 3 ports. Look at that. And all I have to do for all these sexy USB ports is have this giant dongle on my laptop.
That's pretty lot of USB ports for a word
I
processor.
I asked them to run it beforehand because I know that this seems to be like a dead spot, a reception. And so I always have this laptop up there and I go, well, it's not doing any good.
The story finally loaded. The new 3DSs will be available in stores Wednesday, March 25th.
So today, I was right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well,
love when that happens.
Yep.
Always, except when it's not.
So
Which
yeah,
happens sometimes, but we won't talk about that.
They're out there.
50% of the time, you're right all the time.
Yeah, I will say out of all of the 60%.
60%.
At least 60%.
Nice. 6 and 10.
Sounds
better at 3 and 5.
Out of all of the Zelda 3DSs, I think my favorite is still A Link Between Worlds.
Which one was that one?
That was the one where it's that was the 3DS XL that had it was the gold on the top and then it was black on the bottom. It had like the Shadow Triforce.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you meant the actual device. Okay.
Kerry has one of those, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's got the limited edition Zelda 3DS, the 3DS XL, and now the new 3DS, Majora's Mask one.
Nerd.
Does he just over there like what is it? Mean? What do you call it?
Street passing?
Yeah, street abducting himself just over and over and over again between the same 3. You could do that, right? Because they don't know you.
No, you do a system transfer. You move all your stuff from one.
Yeah, but then you can make a new fake one.
Just make a new one. Yeah.
You could. Yes. I actually consider
this is some kind of weird Nintendo masturbatory thing, isn't it? Where you just got your multiple devices. You're like, yeah, I'm rubbing my own together.
Tell us more.
You tell me more. You people have this thing.
You're the one.
You're the one rubbing things together.
Yeah. I'm just saying what I watch people do. Like every now and again, somebody will come into our office.
That's the one that I like. I think it's just gorgeous.
Every now and again, like Carrie will come into our office and just like walk around rubbing things with his 3DS.
Yeah.
Oh, it happens.
I believe.
I've seen some shit.
Here, we should take care of this thing.
Okay.
I want to remind everyone this episode of The Patch is brought to you by Crunchyroll, and I'm gonna let Ryan read it because I'm gonna share the workload
now.
Yep. Yeah, go for it.
Crunchyroll was created by fans of anime. It offers the newest and most current episodes straight from Japan. They offer an unlimited collection of the most popular anime series, and it's all professionally subtitled. Go to crunchyroll.com/thepatch and sign up for premium to get a whole month of free anime ad-free. The world's finest collection of anime on Crunchyroll. Free for 30 days with 0 ads. Premium subscribers can stream all shows in beautiful HD quality. 1080p. Beautiful. Shows currently airing in Japan, such as Naruto Shippuden and Fairy Tail, are available to stream to premium Crunchyroll subscribers within an hour of premiering in Japan. With Crunchyroll Premium, watch anime anytime, anywhere, on all your devices, desktop, iPhone, Android, tablet, or through your TV using your Xbox, PlayStation, Roku, Apple TV, and now on Wii U. Wow, Wii U made it. Remember to go to crunchyroll.com/thepatch and sign up for premium to get a whole month of free anime ad-free, the world's finest collection of anime on Crunchyroll, free for 30 days with 0 ads.
It's crazy to me to think that, Crunchyroll as a service can offer you the ability to watch a video within an hour of it airing in Japan. Like I remember, years ago when I was younger and you like trying to watch anime at that time, it's like you would hope that, someone would pick up the distribution rights in the US, that maybe in a year or two you'd get to watch it. And now it's like within an hour of it premiering, you can watch it online.
I remember working on RVB and just being happy we got an episode out on time, much less for 2 countries and 2 different languages.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And they've got a really good list, especially of stuff that's kind of more classical anime, too. So not just the new stuff, but they've got things. I was looking through the list. They've got, like, one of the first animes I actually watched was called Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you familiar with that one? So that was a good one. That's a good one to start on, actually. It's a very not too off the wall, but, it's got some of that, like, super anime moves, but not, like, super physics defying. And then they've got some of the other ones that even ones I haven't watched, like Hunter x Hunter and Detective Conan, I think is the one where you're the little boy.
I don't know that one.
Those are some of the classics of anime. And then even the newer stuff too, which I haven't watched Bleach yet. I've read the manga, and they have manga on their site too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not stuff that you typically find in the Shonen Jump. I think they do have Fairy Tail is probably the biggest title that I knew of, but then there's a bunch of other stuff in there too.
Yep. Oh, I was trying to point at it. Crunchyroll.com/thepatch. Yeah, that's great. So there's a ton of stuff you can watch, and the service works great. I've used it on my web
Really
browser
does.
before.
Actually, the quality for me is better on there than it is on trying to watch things on Netflix. I actually feel like I get better.
On PC?
Yeah, watching through a browser window, I feel like I get a higher quality of video. Like I've watched Sword Art online on both, and I feel like I hit 1080p on Crunchyroll and don't ever really get there on Netflix. So
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it's really, really crisp.
it is, yeah.
I've got to dedicate, like when I work, I've got 2 monitors set up. Like I've got my work monitor, and then I've got like a secondary little 1080p monitor that is like, that's my media monitor. Like
Right.
I'll watch stuff and I'll have stuff playing like while I'm working. And so yeah, I mean, everything looks great. Like
I
that.
need to get into this multi-screen thing, I think.
It's
It's the only way to go.
But then, like, how do you like do stuff but also pay attention to what you're watching?
It's easier when you're watching stuff you've already seen.
Yeah.
Like if you're rewatching, like I wouldn't watch something for the first time like
Gotcha.
that.
Okay.
You got to be familiar with it.
Twitter?
Speaking of,
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, speaking of things, you said sorry, then you kept talking. That's not how it works. You say sorry, then the other person gets
No,
to talk.
what I meant is I'm so sorry for you. Let me continue.
I've been watching speaking of my second monitor,
Burn.
on loop all day long. I've been watching that animated TIE Fighter video.
I
don't know if
haven't
you've
seen that.
it
I
yet.
saw that pop up, but I haven't watched it yet.
So this guy spent 4 years making hand drawing an animated, I guess like fan film to the old video game TIE Fighter. So it was one guy made it all. He had help with music and stuff, but as far as animation, it was one guy. And he was going for that like class again, tied in with the anime, like that classic 80s anime style, and it's fucking amazing. I watched it once. I was like, okay, I gotta watch this all day, and I just put it on my secondary monitor. And it's been going like back and forth watching it.
So how
that
long
looks
has it been
so good.
since this guy saw daylight or
4 years.
a lady?
Weren't you listening?
But it's just amazing. You can tell like there's so much passion and so much knowledge of the lore and of the games, and like there's like a lot of like little references, like the sound effects and like callbacks to the game. It's really, really great. And I
Wow.
highly recommend everyone watch it.
Where is it?
You can watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
We'll put a link in the patch notes.
Badass. I like
Ashley,
it.
what did Twitter say?
Oh, sorry. Twitter wanted to remind us that Defiance TV show is still going. I think
Really?
they just
Hey,
got
good for
announced
them.
to going in production on their 3rd season, and a lot more people play the game now because it went free to play.
Yeah, it did go free to play. It's sci-fi. With sci-fi, you never really know, or sci-fi, if you want to call it. It's sometimes they do weird things with shows where things will go on hiatus for sort of long, kind of like they did with HBO. Sometimes would do with shows where the show would go away, and you're like, maybe it'll be back.
Yeah,
I
Sopranos
don't
will go away
know.
for like a year and a half or 2 years at a time.
Right. Yeah. So I think Defiance that show was like 5 years old. I think. No, it may be more recent than that, but. Yeah, it seems like it should have been more into its 4th season than 3rd at this point.
Speaking of free to play, people got mad at me because I said that
Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online was going free to play, and they pointed out you still have to pay for the game and buy the game.
It's
just
buy to play.
Right.
Well, you have to
monthly
buy to
fee.
own, but not. It's free to play.
Right. And I just misspoke. I apologize. This is a correction portion of the patch.
You got any other apologies you want to make? Any
No,
editorial
that's
stuff?
that's it for the year. I'm
Is
done.
that a hot fix?
Yeah, very good. So there's always like a weird news story that I like to talk about, and this week the weird news story is Hideo Kojima's disappearance.
Right.
Oh, did he and Putin
So
go somewhere
crazy.
together? Or what?
Well, so
He disappeared.
He disappeared.
Putin
yeah.
disappeared for like 11 days or something.
You knew Kojima disappeared,
just
but
went
you didn't know
camping.
that the leader of the Russian country. What are they calling themselves?
Leader of
State?
Russia.
Empire. What are they up to?
Federation.
Federation.
Yeah, I think
okay.
I just figured he went camping.
Yeah, so Kojima, I guess people started sleuthing and realized that there was going to be some corporate level management changes going on at Konami in April, and they saw that Kojima's name was no longer listed as an executive in Konami. So then, they did more digging, trying to figure it out, and it's now speculated that after the Phantom Pain ships, probably in December, that Kojima's going to be leaving Konami.
Didn't they confirm that?
Well,
Yeah, and they confirmed that they're going to continue making Metal Gear games.
Right.
And people have also noticed that they're removing Hideo Kojima's name from a lot of like the promotional art surrounding the Phantom Pain.
yeah. So there's a lot of crazy stuff that went on. Apparently, yeah. First of all, they removed his name because it, would say like, like a
Hideo Kojima
Hideo
production.
Kojima production, or Hideo Kojima presents or something like that. They removed that from every game, like all the
Wow.
marketing assets from all the games, including the Phantom Pain. He's no longer on the executive list. a couple of other things. Oh, they renamed the Kojima Productions office in LA, the studio in LA, to like Konami West Coast or something like that. They renamed that. They've dropped him off the list of executives, and then someone, I guess someone who's like inside the studio leaked saying that they're like limited on email, phone, like they have like no access to like anything. They're like on lockdown.
They can only eat once a day.
And that
Water and rice
a bunch
only.
of the executives have been moved to contractor status instead of full-time employees.
Weird.
Which gives them like, you know, way less security, I guess, and all the executives plan on leaving when their contracts are up in December.
Also,
This sounds like a terrible breakup.
they were supposed to have Kojima was supposed to have a live stream podcast tomorrow because he has been having regular ones, and it's been canceled.
Yep.
And he has not had a single tweet since March 19th, and he was
Wasn't
a very avid tweeter.
And the last tweet is like ominous.
Yeah, it says heading off.
Yeah.
So like
E3 should be interesting.
See, they inserted him into Russia because someone had to go save Putin. So Kojima went in, like all Phantom Pain style.
In a box.
In a box. Yeah, he took a cardboard box with him. It's man-sized, though. It's not the little short one. Like,
Right.
he just walks around as a full-size box.
Look, they've
Well,
made a lot of advances in box stealth
Yeah,
technology.
in the Phantom Pain, they have that ability now where you can like stand it up
and
as
a
like
naked lady unfolds
Yeah.
in front of him. Yeah.
Woohoo! Or like
you could also have
ones.
a soldier. I think was one of the other ones.
I think so, yeah.
On a slightly less conspiracy theory front, maybe they're just trying to kind of mitigate, since he's going to be leaving, he's not interested in doing any more Metal Gear, but obviously Konami wants to. Maybe they're just trying to shift the focus from Kojima to the game and the series.
That makes total sense.
No, because they already had Revengeance, and that was done by Platinum. That was a different group, and that worked well.
Right, but
Fine.
they know they're not going to have Kojima anymore.
Right.
So like this is I could totally see this where they're just trying to make the focus more about the Metal Gear name, make that the brand.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
guess what? They did the opposite.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's short term. People will get over it. I think people are just like worried about a slight turbulent time, and we'll figure it out. We'll hear more about it.
Do you think that really impacts games at this point, though?
Seems,
Like when
it seems to me, though, that the smart thing would have been to release that and then let him fade quietly into the night.
Well, I think that all of this came out to light ahead of their schedule. I think they were planning. I'm sure they had a plan on how to handle it.
But that would have been in April.
Right, but people found people maybe they didn't expect anyone
don't
to
you
go
remember
through
they were sleuthing,
the corporate board, like corporate executive assignments. Like, who would really look at that? That's not a big deal.
I don't know.
Who would publish that? Why was that out there?
Yeah, it was out there in advance of just saying, like, as of April 1st, this is how everything's changing.
Here's who's fired list. Have fun, internet.
Well, most of the time it doesn't matter. I don't think people don't follow, video
It's
game
the
executive
internet.
board.
They follow everything.
They do when it's your single biggest personality in the entire company.
If he was such a big personality, his name would be in all the games. Just saying.
Oh, Sorola.
So yeah, I'm sure we'll hear more about it soon.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see like if they trot him out at E3 and how that is all going to go.
I like the way that you put it, though. They trot him out at E3 like he's going to be at gunpoint. They'll take the cuffs off right before he goes on stage.
I'm expecting like marionette arms.
Well, yes, I am still here.
Well, contractually, he may have to go out.
Maybe they'll just CG him in, like it'll be like a what is it, Hatsune
Tupac?
Miku?
There you go. Yeah, he's going to be a hologram like Tupac.
I saw him once at Hideo Kojima, not Tupac. I saw Hideo Kojima once at a party at PAX Prime. It's like everyone it was a really crowded party and everyone just like cleared a path. And it's like who's that? Oh, it's Hideo Kojima. Yep. And then like everyone just like folds in right behind him. It's like parting of the Red Sea to let him through.
I had that once. I saw Miyamoto, and it was like there's a force field. You back up and you just go. I'm basking in the glory from an appropriate distance, and then close up and again and go. Oh, whisper, that was amazing. Did you see that? Almost like same air, man. I had the same air in my lungs right now.
Well, it's funny you did the suck in of air thing. I wonder if there's a noticeable decrease in pressure in front of him that just pulls him through crowds. Everybody goes like, it just sucks him forward.
He exists in like a permanent like space of wind.
Yeah,
there's just always air moving.
He just
around.
always moves to the least resistance, wherever the people are most impressed. Like you just spend your life floating in that direction.
But he never quite reaches it until he runs into a wall, and it's just donk, donk.
The wall's not impressed.
Yeah. So the big question is, what do you think is going to happen to Silent Hills?
Oh,
Because he was going to be working on that with Guillermo del Toro, but that's not coming out this year unless there's something we haven't all been told. So do they cancel it? Do they have someone else work on it? Does anyone give a shit if it's
Well, how much of his input is necessary to be ongoing, and how much of it's just up front? I mean,
Right.
Don't know.
He could have, maybe just provided like creative direction early on.
I mean, a lot of that stuff, the details of the art, the direction of the story is settled before they ever just get down to the nitty gritty making assets and animation. So it could be his involvement is completely done already.
That's
very true.
true.
And will be awesome, I'm sure.
And it'll be weird when his name's not on the box anymore either. Guillermo del Toro made a game. That's weird.
There's just there's the credits and there's just a blank box.
Maybe they'll just release a game that's Kojima game.
Kojima the game.
Yeah.
I wonder what he'll do next.
I don't know. He's done other games in the past. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was he in... We did what?
Boktai. Remember that Game Boy Advance game? Yeah, it had I think there were two of them, and it was the cartridge actually had like a sunlight sensor, and it was a vampire hunting game, and you'd have to charge it with sunlight, and then you would use that charge to fight vampires in the game. It was really, really.
It's creative.
I liked it. It was a very optimistic attempt to get the kids to go outside.
Or close to a window, I guess is probably.
Or close to a window, I suppose.
He also did Zone of the Enders.
He did Zone of the Enders, and he worked on Castlevania. The new one, Symphony of the Night, I think.
Lords of Shadow.
Lord of Shadow, sorry.
I'm looking it up right now. I did not know that off the top of my head. You do that.
I may have done a news thing about it. I looked some things up.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize he was the one on Boktai. I remembered that game, but I didn't know that he was attached to it for the longest time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in other news, Sony's releasing the long-awaited 2.50 firmware update for the PS4 tomorrow.
That's the one that's finally going to add in the sleep suspend.
Suspend and resume will be added in. There's a whole bunch of features, including one that was near the bottom of the list. Okay, so the last thing on the list was weird. Daily Motion support, so you can upload clips to Daily Motion using the share button.
Okay.
Which it's like, okay,
sure, why not?
Daily Motion's still around.
Yeah.
The one right above that, verified accounts.
Yeah.
So I guess they're going the Twitter route where certain video game personalities can have verified PSN accounts.
Oh, can I be verified?
I'm saying it right now. I want to be verified. I don't accept any friend requests.
Hey, verify me first.
All of us. Hey, what?
So it says select game
Just before
developers.
Gus.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I mean, you can go before me if you want, but because ladies first. But before Gus.
Select game developers, producers, designers,
You're
and
crazy,
community
but you're a
managers
gentleman.
will be verified with a badge.
I like it.
That's interesting. I haven't seen anybody.
Can I flash it and get into parties?
As long as it
Verified.
doesn't end up devolving into what Twitter's verified system has, which is basically like if you give them a lot of money and run an advertising campaign, you're verified.
Yeah.
They've got a very weird system on Twitter. And also, remember that thing a while back where a bunch of people in the games industry actually got unverified because they'd all got verified through a friend? What is that saying? Like, we're no longer sure that you are
We
who
don't know
you
who
say
you
you are?
Yeah.
Is that
You're
is
not
that
important enough.
what's going on there?
You're not important enough for us to really know who you are. So
They also are now upgrading remote play and share play. So if games support 60 frames a second, you can remote play and share play those games at 60 frames a second.
Whoa.
Which seems nuts to me.
at 1080 60. Wow. Okay.
Remote play is the one where you can like basically hand it to a friend over the internet and they can get through a section for you, right? Or demo a game.
Or
but
play.
honestly,
on your character and your
I
settings.
think remote
I'm
play is actually
curious-
where you use the Vita.
that
that
one
one.
is, but isn't share play
Share play
the
is
one?
where you can.
Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
I love that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why remote play. No, share play wasn't like that before. Anyway,
Probably for bandwidth concerns.
oh, because they're all
Yeah.
streaming anyway.
Right.
You're right. Yeah, of course. That
So-
actually does make it.
Yeah, and there is an asterisk by that one, and the asterisk says a sufficiently robust Wi-Fi connection is required. Why don't they say internet? Why do they say Wi-Fi?
Well, I imagine both. Actually, though, in a lot of cases, Wi-Fi signal inside your home can degrade your internet signal more dramatically than necessarily your internet by itself.
Yeah, ours absolutely does. We're on. I'm not sure. I think we're on like the AT&T gigabit right now at home, and we sometimes wire because it's super fast getting to the house, and then the Wi-Fi is just not as fast. And it's like, look, it's going to take like 5 minutes to download my game as opposed to like 30 seconds? No.
That's for plebs.
Yeah.
But no, especially people running an older like G network. The different wireless standards, G, N, and AC is the current one.
Wait, what's the AC?
That's the
That's
newer
current
one.
fastest
Yeah,
one.
it's They have gigabit wireless now.
I'm really behind. I was like,
But
I thought N was still the
no.
thing.
It's also more confusing than that though, because even things like AC exist in dual band, where 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz, and the 2.4 gigahertz will usually operate 4 to 900 megabit, and then the actual gigabit part of it is at the 5 gigahertz, but that has reduced range over 2.4 gigahertz. So there's your Wi-Fi knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Professor Haywood. We appreciate that.
There you go.
I was going to call you Professor Ryan, and then I decided that might be a little bit odd.
A couple of other options.
Where are your
profess for any
Where are your
names.
professor glasses?
Oh, I left them at home. Sorry.
A couple of other updates that are in that in the 2.50 update. You finally delete 0% trophies, which is awesome. I know people always complain about that. Different trophy sorting options, and this is streamlined party process. So they said they reduced the number of steps involved in creating a party.
There's one thing that's always been sort of odd to me about the way PlayStation works, and maybe it's more PlayStation 3, but it seems like the PSN part of PlayStation has always been oddly cordoned off, right? I mean, it's like with Xbox, you're kind of just used to Xbox Live being completely integrated into your experience of the dashboard. Whereas with PlayStation, you have to go to like the PSN icon, and like it's all kind of kept in that small app area.
Yeah, and it's possible, and I've had this happen to me before, where I'll be using my PlayStation, think everything's fine, and then it's like all of a sudden I go to like check my friends list, like, oh, there's a software update for PSN, so I haven't been signed on to PSN this whole time. And I want to say that I got to read through this, but I want to say also that they finally added a function where software updates. Yeah, here it is. They have automatic installation for system software updates, which was lacking in the past.
That's new?
Yeah, it's new. You can enable automatic installation for future system software updates.
Oh, I guess I thought they'd already added that,
No.
but that's great.
No, that's great. I've been looking forward to that.
So that's with the sleep suspend resume, so that can just like quietly do in the background.
Please, thank you. That'd be so awesome. I love now like the level of connectivity that consoles have. Like when we decided we were going to play Valiant Hearts for the Game Club, it was free on PSN, so I just like logged into the PlayStation Store, purchased it, and then just like forced it to download to my PS4. So when I got home, it was all done. Like I just could pick up the controller and play.
Oh, it's free on PSN?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that?
No.
That's why I played on the PS4.
Oh well, I got 800 gamer score out of it so far.
It's great though. That's gonna offer a very multi-platform perspective on the game.
Yeah, that's true. We all played on different platforms. That's pretty amazing.
So, last year, one of my favorite games last year was Shadow of Mordor. I don't know if you guys saw the Mega 64 Shadow of Mordor video that they made, where a couple of them dressed up like the orcs and went around talking to people, like saying some of the lines that the orcs would say to the ranger.
That's very Mega 64.
And then, then Derek comes out dressed as a ranger, and then they fight.
Does he brand them?
He does. He does brand one of them. It's really fun. The makeup and the costumes are really well done.
That's actually really good.
I just keep seeing the subtitle of "Nope, no thanks, nope,
nope.
Aw.
One of them, and then it's only like a 2-minute long video. So if anybody has 2 minutes, I highly recommend watching it.
Yeah, those guys always do super clever stuff.
I don't know how they haven't been beaten to death at this point.
We don't know that they haven't.
Oh. All right, I have no conclusive evidence that they're still alive, but the fact that they still release videos seems to indicate they're still around.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I mean, Shadow of Mordor is a sort of new game.
No.
A year old.
No, not quite. 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months old.
They could have
Is
died.
it really only 6 months?
They could have died at any point.
September last year.
Wow.
They could be replaced by Clockwork.
I still haven't beaten it.
Or
what?
I have like one more thing to do. This is my list of
is
games
it
that have...
collectives that you have to finish, or like plot?
Plot.
Oh.
I haven't finished...
Then go finish it!
Stop it! I haven't finished Dying Light, which I'm like within probably half an hour of beating it. I haven't finished Shadow of Mordor because I'm still within half an hour of beating it. Oh gosh, there's like another game too that I haven't done. I'm awful lately because I just keep moving on to the next thing and don't finish.
I make fun of you, but I do that all the time. My reason is a little bit different though. I don't move on. I stop because I know that like I've had a really great time playing this game and I'm really close to the end. And when I get to the end, it's going to be over.
Yeah.
And then it won't be there for me to play anymore because that conclusion, like it's concluded. And so I just sort of like leave it. I get to the last level and I'm just like,
it's done.
And I just like put it down. I'll be like, I'll be back. And I don't go back. I did that for, what was it? Oh God, Kingdoms of Amalur.
Oh yeah.
I'm like the very end of that, and I've been at the very end of that for like 2.5 years. I'll go back occasionally and play like 20 minutes of it, and then be like, no, I'm just gonna stop
You got a
because I
problem.
don't want to get to the end.
You have a problem, Ashley.
I do
You
have
need
a
help.
problem. Yes.
Here, I'm going to read this other one. I want to remind everyone this episode of The Patch is also brought to you by lynda.com. Today's a good day to learn something new. Better yet, learn something useful. Go to lynda.com/thepatch right now and sign up for a 10-day free trial on us. You'll get unlimited access to over 100,000 courses and tutorials on topics like web development, photography, visual design, and business, as well as software training like Excel, WordPress, and Photoshop. They even have courses on game development. All other courses are taught by experts, and new courses are added to the site every week. Whether you want to set new financial goals, find work-life balance, invest in a new hobby, ask your boss for a raise, find a new job, or improve upon your current job skills, lynda.com has something for everyone. Sign up for your free 10-day trial by visiting lynda.com/thepatch. Do something good for yourself and sign up for a free 10-day trial at lynda.com/thepatch today. That's lynda.com/thepatch. Be sure to use that URL so they know we sent you. And we've talked about it many times. They have a bunch of great how-tos and tutorials on there. And in fact, when I first started doing multicam editing in Premiere, that's where I went and learned a lot about it. It's great. It's awesome. And it's not like I said, it's not just software. It's a bunch of other stuff as well. You may as well at least go look. It's free, free 10-day trial. Check it out and see if they have anything you're interested in. Thumbs up. So a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned the 42-player AI Civ game that was going on with all those mods, and we didn't get around to talking about it last week, but the game had broken for a while because they were running so many mods and there were so many.
Well, I think it turned out.
What do you mean it broke? Like it froze?
Like
or?
a game
could not
crash.
operate. Basically, what happened, as I understand it, was the civilization of Japan had made too many naval units,
And it was trying to make too many naval units in one turn.
right? And the game couldn't keep up.
So apparently,
I love the fix for it, by the way.
2K and Firaxis even reached out to try to offer to help. Like they got sent the save file and they were looking through it, but they weren't sure how much they could do because there were mods and who knows what the state of the save file was.
They basically sent the save file to surgery.
Right, but it turns out it wasn't even them who fixed it. It was the guy running the scenario. He fixed the problem by destroying Kyoto. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Everything's good now.
Wipe a city off the map. Hey, it's all good now.
Like, oh, yeah.
So it worked, and the game's back on.
There were no actual people living there. You look concerned. Like he didn't actually blow up the real city of Kyoto.
I'm sorry. I'm really concerned about all the people.
Granted, that seems like it somewhat undermines the simulation, right? Because now Japan has lost its apparently biggest shipyard.
So how does that go forward? How does that? I mean,
there's an update. You can actually go to the
accuracy
website.
is lost.
Yeah, now
It's
they can have
true.
an asterisk
They've
by it.
undermined the veracity of the experiment.
The integrity.
And the integrity. Sure. Veracity, integrity.
Yeah,
truth.
They could have just added another mod that made it more
shippy.
shippy.
Extra shippy.
All the ships mod.
So
That's the thing, right?
You're close to a Minecraft mod.
What?
It's like, what was it? It's all my items or something where a recipe book.
I've steered
Someone will
very
correct me.
clear of Minecraft mods.
Why? This is the best part of Minecraft.
Well, I've used texture packs, but we've steered clear of mods because we play it as a family. And
On PC or on Xbox?
on PC.
Oh, okay.
And some members. Well, I'll take some recommendations from you. Maybe we'll do some for Game Kids, actually.
Yeah, have they seen the tornado mod we did the other day?
I'm sure they have.
You should drop a tornado on them.
The problem ends up being we had this happen with texture packs too, where like we install it and then like it's installing a new one like every half an hour because that's like the new fun thing to do. And the the game would get a mess with
you
all
stop
the mods.
playing and just start modding. Yeah,
pretty much, and then we'd never get any playing done, and the whole thing would just be a whole nightmare. So
a lot of times it's a whole new.
We drew a hard line. All the texture packs and skin packs and whatever, or no skin packs, I guess on PC. But no, all the texture packs you want, no mods. But if you have some suggestions, then maybe we can do some. Maybe we'll play some mods for like Game Kids or something in a very controlled scenario.
There's definitely some minor improvement things that you could do, even if there's things like what we add for shader support to make it look prettier. Or if you want things that'll actually change how you play the game, there are things like TechHit that'll actually add capabilities like more crafting options, more electronics, essentially. There's a bunch of things like that which are a lot of times are mod packs that'll do a bunch of capabilities to the game that won't necessarily change how it's played, but it just expands your options.
Okay.
I'm trying to see what the...
What does Bucket do?
I'm not sure.
I hear people talk about Bucket all the time. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
I know that it's a mod, and therefore I don't pay attention to it.
You just immediately exclude it from your notice.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things you don't want to be like, oh yeah, maybe just this one, and then pretty soon, like
once they slip in
pretty
there,
soon, like you're in an alley being like, I just need a mod.
just
I'll do anything.
Give me one more shot. Come on. Is it 1710 ready? I can't go to 183 yet.
I'm trying to see the specs on this machine that the guy's running that civilization simulation on, but I can't.
Is it like a server, or is he actually running on a desktop?
I don't know. So I was trying to find out like how beefy of a machine it required to
I
do
love
all
the
that
idea
stuff.
of it having to like move to like progressively more advanced machines. Eventually, it's running off a farm.
I would think it would be going the opposite direction, because as it progresses, more civilizations die off. It's got to attract less players.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you got to
but
go.
apparently you have a lot
You
of
reach a
ships.
peak.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to ramp up, get really
Well,
intensive, and then it should dip.
Well, yeah, that's true, because you'll have those civilizations start to build more cities and have
Right.
more things to manage. But the number of cities, I'm sure, will fall off some degree, but not
a ton.
At least in previous times where they've had AI players, AI gets real nuke happy. It likes to blow things
One
up.
in particular.
Yeah, especially old Gandhi. Man, Gandhi loves those nukes.
What a nice guy.
Sure is.
But
But he will irradiate your sand, your land, everything. I
He
don't know
doesn't
why I
care.
started with sand. Sand. He hates sand, that Gandhi. Big fan of silicon. You
So-
see, when you melt
Do you
sand,
make
it
the-
becomes.
okay.
silicon.
I thought it made
I got it.
glass.
Well, that's silicate.
so I think
Now I'm doubting myself. I don't know.
I'm sure everyone knows, but I feel like we should at least mention that Twitch announced that they had a security breach and they forced everyone to change their passwords and invalidated everyone's stream keys.
And that was a hell of a breach, as
Yeah.
far as I can tell. The email that I got afterwards was saying that, like, by the way, we've expired your passwords, all your stream keys. We've disconnected all accounts from YouTube. We've done like all like, and I was just they might have your username, email, password, personal information, date of birth. You know, they've probably got your pet held hostage at this point. Just it seems like they whatever it was got everything. Absolutely everything.
We were in the process of starting to share some of our Twitch credentials with the Funhouse guys. And at first we got the email that was like, oh, your password has been expired, your stream key's invalidated. And I was like, I wonder if that's because we gave the Funhouse guys access to our accounts. I wonder if it looked suspicious on the
What
side.
did you do?
And I was like, no,
Get Adam Kovac over here now.
no, it was a really weird coincidence that they announced the breach right at that time.
These companies seriously got to stop keeping all that security information on like a Google Doc or something, right? I mean, it's an unencrypted spreadsheet where anybody can just take it.
We
Right.
don't know that
Nice.
that's what happened.
No, we don't.
And I doubt it was anything like that.
Well, what was the last major breach? It turned out it
Sony?
was just like a sequel.
it was Sony.
Was it Sony?
Where,
Well,
yeah,
that
it was
the last really big one.
It was just an
was-
unencrypted SQL database. We were like, oh, I found it.
Yeah, they had a
Or
bunch
no
of stuff in,
password, or
like text
something like that,
files
yeah.
or like Excel spreadsheets.
Yo, yeah, they had
They're
like
super ridiculous.
files called like passwords.xls and stuff like that.
All the
for like
users'
for like all their
information.
social, and they
Yeah.
have that for all their social media stuff as well.
Something
Steal
like
this
that.
for fraud.
Twitter also is telling me Bucket is a server management tool for Minecraft. It allows the easy add-on of mods. So it's basically a
you
mod
go.
management tool.
It's a mod manager.
Now we know these things. Thank you, Twitter. You guys are the best.
Are they in the room?
No, they're always around.
They're right there. Or there, right there. Right
They're in the
there, right
Wi-Fi.
there.
They're everywhere. They're in the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz. So I guess this past Sunday, 343 announced kicked off their Halo 5 ARG. I don't know if you saw any of that stuff. The Hunt the Truth.
Oh yeah.
So this details are still kind of sketchy. I haven't kept up with it too much, but it seems like they're portraying Master Chief as a traitor.
Well,
It seems like it's a pseudo documentary style thing running for 12 episodes. It's almost like an audio, like a radio play sort of thing, but done like as a documentary. And it's got the guy from Key and Peele.
Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah.
the thing about it that I'm not sure about is, so yeah, they sort of are portraying him as a traitor if you don't really know necessarily a lot of the story, but I mean, if you're acquainted with a lot of the lore of that world, yes, most that you would find about that character is a lie. I mean, he's the creation of the Spartan program was a huge secret program. I don't know in the realm of the game universe how much about the Spartans' true origins has been revealed. So if you were a character in that world that just didn't know how they came to be, though he does a couple times mention like, oh yeah, I knew him as a kid or something like that. Or I mean, he talked to people that knew young Master Chief. But yeah, I mean, if you're in that world, it's possible that he's just talking about the normal covert ops kind of cover-up stuff.
Right.
And not
so
necessarily
he's just
anything
seeing like what
nefarious.
the public sees.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, you wouldn't know a lot of... I don't know a lot about most of the secret agents working for this country, and if I tried to find out, I probably couldn't.
Right. Yeah. So it's an interesting spin on it, like the whole trying to recontextualize the story and look at it from this this outside perspective that doesn't have all the knowledge.
They did kind of... I mean, they sort of, with 4, started setting up something like that, where, at least in the... I believe it was the Spartan Ops, where they kept asking Halsey the questions about, do you think he's become unstable?
Right.
Like, why is he this way? Is he a sociopath? Or, and again, we don't know how much of his origin story that we're privy to their world is. Could be taken 2 ways.
Yeah, I mean, it could be world building, and also that could lend a little bit of context for why Agent Locke is seeking him out, why he's hunting for him.
That being said, they also had that little thing where they shoot his helmet and it explodes into flames.
Yeah, that seemed a little bit ominous.
Where was it? Oh, right. Yeah, I was
the bullet teaser.
Yeah,
it looked cool.
Yeah,
but
it
looked cool, but a little ominous.
And I think they said it's gonna be a 12-part Hunt the Truth thing. Now the first one was episode 0.
Yeah, weekly, I think. So hopefully that should lead up to what, E3?
E3, yeah, right. Just in time for E3. How convenient. Maybe
like they planned it.
Maybe we'll get a release date at E3 finally. Okay, we've got to have a release date by E3.
We've got to.
I'm sure we'll see another really cool trailer. That's the one thing that the Halo games have always traditionally done, is released a really cool E3 musically scored trailer.
With a lot of the actual single player gameplay this time around.
I don't know. I mean, previous time they've done E3. What was that? There was that great E3 video. I'm not even sure it's E3, but they did a great video for Halo 2 with that whole "bet you can't stick it" thing.
Oh, right. That was Halo
none
2.
of that was in the game.
Yeah,
like that whole sequence never happened.
That all got cut from the game. Yeah. The Did You Know Gaming did a part 2 on the Halo series that came out last week, and they talked a lot about Rooster Teeth and Red vs. Blue. But yeah, that's one of the things they mentioned was that whole level built for that E3 demo got scrapped. In fact, I think they want to say the whole graphics engine they used for that demo got scrapped and rewritten before the game shipped.
That's crazy. I mean, that's like you see a couple things occasionally go missing from movie trailers, but the idea of just that whole thing just meant nah.
Yeah, well, I think they started discovering, and according to Did You Know Gaming, they started discovering that they were limited by the original Xbox. That like they had all this stuff built out. And it's like, oh, we can't actually use all this. Like we have to like cut it down.
Works great on a dev kit.
Got to make it fit on a disc.
Right. And in the memory of a retail.
Kit. Not anymore. Now you can have 100 gigabytes for your space.
Oh,
for your
that's
game if you
PC
want.
though.
Well, yeah.
You're talking about Star Citizen.
I'm talking about Star Citizen. I'm talking about gigantic game installs across the board. I'm talking about like 50 gig, 60 gig. Everyone's like, no big deal.
I still can't figure out what they're going to do with 100 gigs for Star Citizen for a space game.
8K.
Huge textures.
Yeah.
Isn't
Is
textures
it really
like,
time for 8K though?
Isn't textures most of the space in a game?
That and uncompressed audio. There could be a ton of uncompressed audio. Like that was the big thing with Evolve, right?
Oh,
was it Evolve? No, it was Titanfall. That
I remember that. It was this, but then it was actually
it was huge.
This.
Yeah, because of all the uncompressed audio. It was this big. So another odd bit of news that I read this week was, I don't know if anybody else read it, was the fact that it came to light that Bethesda created a football game. It was one of their first games called Gridiron, and that EA wanted to contract them to use Gridiron to build the first Madden game. But that relationship ended in a lawsuit because Bethesda alleged that EA just wanted to steal the physics engine that they use for Gridiron.
What? An EA business deal ended in a lawsuit?
A Bethesda thing ended in a lawsuit?
What?
How did that happen?
Equally astounding.
What's funny is like if you look at screenshots of Gridiron, I'd never heard of that game, by the way. It's just like a top-down version of a football game with really shitty graphics. It's basically circles. Each player is a circle. But they have stats, and that was what I think they said EA was interested in, was that it had very rudimentary physics. So like a circle that weighed more than another circle could push that circle down more easily.
Right.
It like took things like that into account.
Instead, that game became Extreme Tic-Tac-Toe.
But that was back in '86.
Sexes are like, Muscling on my territory.
Get you out of here, oh.
You know, so just a couple of things. We're just about out of time. A couple things I want to mention before we go. Minecon 2015 tickets are going on sale on March 27th. I forget what the price was. I want to say it was like $190 for the event.
Wow.
Which is in London. So you gotta be in London, or you gotta be able to get to London for it. I imagine that they'll sell out very quickly if past Minecons are any indicator.
I don't know. Does anyone play Minecraft?
You can go and ask people what bucket is.
I'm actually curious if that's starting to decline. Minecraft's been around a while at this point. It's got to be getting close to the end of its.
I don't know. It seems to still be, topping console charts. PC numbers are still ridiculous. It's just one of those games that you think that it's got to reach that point of saturation, but it keeps going.
Look, all I know is my son's moved on. He's done. He's on to Rayman Legends now.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
quite the graduation.
Yeah, he's not interested in Minecraft anymore. I don't know.
It seems like it goes
because that's what Dad does. He doesn't want to follow in your footsteps. And then the last thing I want to mention was that Fortnite just yesterday kicked off their second closed alpha.
I was not invited.
Yeah. So and I apparently it's expected to launch on Windows PC sometime this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. That game looks really, really interesting. There you go. I have had a chance to play it in the past, and it's something I'm really looking forward to.
I love the art style.
No, it's great.
Also, someone Wazzy Daniels on Twitter tells us the live action trailer for Halo 5 airs this Sunday during The Walking Dead.
Oh, nice. That's good to know.
So thank you, Wazzy Daniel. You are pretty cool.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you're watching the live stream right now, stay tuned. We're going to do a video game book club about Valiant Hearts. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.
You just like making me mad.
Bye.
Bye.